Right here, he's interpreting. Yeah. Okay, we're ready? Thank you all for being here. My name is Alan Kittleman, the Howard County Executive. Before we go into specific comments, I want to express my thanks to the residents of Ellicott City and those in Howard County. It's hard to believe that it's been less than 24 hours since the storm began. And we've had tremendous support by the residents and the businesses down in Ellicott City. We've never seen such devastation. I've lived in Howard County well over 50 years. I've never seen such devastation, but we have folks in Ellicott City who are committed to making sure that this storm does not defeat them, and they've shown that they have the willpower and the determination to keep on keeping on and to make Ellicott City a vibrant and wonderful community again. I also want to thank Governor Hogan, Lieutenant Governor Rutherford for both coming here, as well as Congressman Elijah Cummings. They have both come, or all three have come, to express support. The governor, lieutenant governor, has said that whatever resources they have at their disposal are at our disposal. Congressman Cummings has let us know that he will work hard to make sure that we get the federal relief that we need. I've also received calls from Senators Cardin and Mikulski, and also talked with Congressman Sarbanes. I'm very thankful that we have such a strong federal delegation that are putting Howard County residents as a priority. Nearly 6 inches of rain fell between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. yesterday. Roughly, that's the equivalent of a whole month of rain normally. Unfortunately, with that amount of rain comes tremendous force of water and tremendous difficulties in Ellicott City, causing tremendous damage. We're going to have folks talk to you about certain items. They'll come up individually, they'll introduce themselves. But I also want to bring up first Colonel Palazzi from the Maryland State Police Superintendent. He's representing Governor Hogan in the state here. They've been tremendous partners. So if you could like to say a few words, Colonel.
Thank you, County Executive. Again, I'm Colonel William Palazzi, Superintendent of State Police. Lieutenant Governor Rutherford was here last night, toured the area with the County Executive, Governor Hogan this morning. Approximately 1 p.m. we convened a conference call with the State Cabinet as well as representatives from the county government to offer any and all support we can, specifically from the State Police. There's approximately 40 troopers will be coming in to assist Howard County in static points and asking folks to stay away from the downtown Ellicott City area so fire, the utility companies can do their work. So I thank you again, and we're here to help you.
Thank you very much. Ryan Miller. Introduce yourself.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Miller. I'm the Emergency Management Director for Howard County. Just like Executive Kittleman just mentioned, we only get through things like this because of partnerships in our community, as well as just the different layers of government, from federal to state, and then here at the county level as well. As the Colonel and the Executive mentioned, we've been in contact with the Maryland Emergency Management Agency since last night. In fact, they've provided some staff here to make the coordination of resources that much smoother. And they've actually helped facilitate bringing in resources from outside the state even. We have an incident management team that's arriving now from Pennsylvania to assist us. Throughout the evening, last night and all night and today, we've had our operations center open. You're going to hear from some of those representatives, but it's pretty much been all hands on deck here with all county agencies, all performing different functions that are called out in our emergency operations plan. I'd like to introduce to you Police Chief Gary Gardner.
Good evening. My name is Gary Gardner, and I'm Chief of Police for Howard County. First of all, I would like to address some information that has been reported in the media regarding fatalities and also the number of missing individuals. We have 2 confirmed fatalities that have been recovered on the Baltimore County side of the river. The Baltimore County Police Department is responsible for that investigation. Very soon they will be releasing information regarding the identities of those 2 victims. One victim was washed away as a pedestrian who was navigating along Main Street and was swept away. The second person was in an automobile with another person, in which they became in stress as they were crossing the bridge and left their vehicle. One was able to go to safety and the other one unfortunately was carried downstream. They were recovered early this morning by Baltimore County Police, and they are doing that investigation. And let me confirm, we do not have any other missing person reports at this time. If that changes, we will update you. Also, the scene security in the Main Street area. We are in a state of emergency in that area, and no one other than emergency personnel are allowed in that area, to include residents and also to include business people. We will work as quickly as possible, and when that opportunity becomes available, we will allow those individuals to go back down to their businesses. We will be providing security 24/7 in that area to ensure that no one goes into those homes or businesses unauthorized. And fortunately, I'd like to thank Colonel Palazzi and the Maryland State Police. They are providing more than 40 troopers to assist us with scene security and traffic control in that area so we can ensure the protection of the property that remains in that area. And finally, we have over 170 vehicles that have been impacted by the water, and they're not drivable. We're in the process of towing those vehicles from the roadways, parking lot, and also the river. And that will take some time. Those vehicles will be towed to a location nearby, and probably sometime tomorrow morning, you'll be receiving information in the process that you can reclaim those vehicles. And as soon as we can get the vehicles towed to that off-site location, we will pass that information along to you. At this time, I would like to introduce Chief Rommel from the Fire Department.
Good evening. Thank you, Chief. I'm Deputy Fire Chief Frank Rommel, Howard County Department of Fire Rescue Services. Our primary focus last night was swiftwater rescues along Main Street of the Patapsco River. This morning, we shifted gears into secondary searches in the vehicles, in the building, and along the Patapsco River. We also assisted our county agencies with structural stability of several of the buildings along Main Street. I'd like to introduce Jim.
Good afternoon. I'm Jim Irvin, Director of Public Works. Public Works' role in this event is to, we have a ruptured water main that's along Main Street. We've been spending most of the day getting that fixed to provide fire service in the area and try to restore some water service. The next phase of our operation will be the debris management and removal. Once the cars are removed from the street and in the stream, we'll begin that effort over the next several days. So thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Bob Francis. I'm the Director of the Department of Inspections, Licenses, and Permits, the building department, if you will. Our agency is the lead agency in charge of the emergency support function for damage assessment. We've had personnel in the field today. We've evaluated approximately 200 buildings along the Main Street corridor that stretch from the Patapsco River westward to approximately Ellicott Mills Drive. 4 to 5 of those buildings will be classified as destroyed. Approximately 20 to 30 have received significant damage, with the remainder of the other buildings receiving some level of damage. Those numbers are preliminary at this point, and we hope to have more final numbers with some financial damage estimates later tomorrow afternoon.
Good evening. I'm Larry Tweel, CEO of the Howard County Economic Development Authority. Our charge is to help coordinate response to help the businesses recover, reopen, and rebuild. We are working with our state and local business agencies to help coordinate resources for these businesses. We're also reaching out to our local private sector partners who can help provide resources such as temporary storage or temporary office space as well to help our businesses at least get back operational. Thank you.
And I'd also like to say we have a very generous community here in Howard County and Ellicott City. And I've been struck by the outpouring of the support that we've seen. Lots of offers of volunteers, lots of offers of donations. Very much appreciated. I wanted everyone to know that we have been coordinating for all cash donations for the residents through a dedicated fund with the American Red Cross. The American Red Cross will be letting us know tomorrow the name of the fund and how people can donate. We wanted to make sure that people had a place to go, to direct it to a group that we know would get to the residents. Please, don't bring unsolicited items down to the Roger Carter Center or somewhere else down in Main Street, Ellicott City. It's not time for that. It doesn't help us right now. We need to be able to do the debris removal, to check out the buildings, secure them. It doesn't help to have unsolicited items right now. Also, we've been in coordination with the Community Action Council of Howard County. They have agreed to have at their food bank, an area set aside for food that is donated to help the residents of Ellicott City. So if you have food that you would like to donate, please contact the Community Action Council of Howard County. I was told that they would be opening their food bank at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. And I also know that the Ellicott City Partnership has indicated that they are taking donations to help the local businesses downtown. So we'll have that information on our website and Facebook as well, where you can contact them. I want to I see here that Council Chairperson Calvin Ball is here and Councilwoman Jen Terraz is here. Also Gary Smith, who's representing Councilman John Weinstein, who represents the area in Ellicott City. I'd like to see if both Councilman Ball and Councilman Terraz, do you want to say a couple words? Jen, why don't you come up at least?
As County Executive indicated, this is quite a devastating turn of events. However, we are coming together as a community. We're going to continue working together. There is a state of emergency. However, as we move forward, if there is, for example, a need for extension, that will be a legislative action, and we'll make sure that we do, even though we're in recess, we come together and we make sure that our community is taken care of. We are stronger than the storm, and we will be rebuilding and showing that strength, and we'll be rebuilding even better and stronger. So, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairman. The council has been very involved. We've had constant communication. We've had conference calls with the council members. I also want to stress that Councilman John Weinstein has been very involved. He unfortunately is out of the area, but he has been in constant contact with me and other members and has been very involved. This is his district. These are a lot of people he knows very well and very personally. I also see the delegate for downtown Ellicott City is here. Delegate Bob Flanagan, do you want to make a couple comments?
Thank you, Alan. I appreciate the dedication that is shown by our public officials. Alan, I know you stayed up all night working on this problem, getting a jump on it. Lieutenant Governor Rutherford was here last night and walked through Ellicott City with us, talked to the police and first responders. Thank you so much for the work that the first responders did in saving lives, and the work of county and state officials all night and continuing all day today on this problem. Governor Hogan was here. Governor Hogan is devoted and is committed to helping the county resolve and build up Ellicott City again. And of course, Congressman Cummings also was here with us this morning when we took this tour. So there is really a perfect example of government working together. The people of Ellicott City, the businesses have been hit very, very hard, and I don't think anybody should underestimate the degree of damage that has been done and the work that's going to have to be done and the time that it's going to take to do it. But there's a lot of dedication and there's a lot of people rolling up their sleeve ready to get that work done. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Flanagan. And I would just reiterate, the folks here in Howard County, the emergency personnel, the first responders have been amazing. But I will never forget seeing that video of the human chain saving that person out of that car. I'll never forget that, because that tells me what people in Ellicott City are like. That tells me that that's what people in Howard County are like. That tells me that this is not going to defeat us. We're going to become a stronger, better community, because that's who we are. With that, I'd like to open up for questions. Everyone's here to answer them, so if anyone has any questions.
Are you able to quantify at all the amount of damage in money terms and in terms of the time frame for cleanup and getting Main Street back open?
And the question was, are we able to quantify the amount of damages or time frame for getting Main Street open? I would turn to some of the people back here, but I think I can answer that question, but you can come forward, Brian. Right now, we cannot make any of those expectations because certainly we don't want to give anyone any false hope. This is a very, very serious issue. great devastation down in Ellicott City. So to tell anybody they're going to be down there tomorrow or the next day or 3 days is giving some people maybe false hope, and I certainly don't want to do that. But let Ryan Miller.
Sure. So the question about quantifying the damage, there's two elements that we calculate. One is the cost to the actual response, which we've been aggregating from the very beginning. And then the other is the actual amount of damage to both public and private property. And that's the data that we're just now getting in from licensing and permits. So we'll be aggregating that. It's very important that we pass that on quickly to the state so that Governor Hogan can make the request to FEMA for a potential disaster declaration.
Safe to say multi-millions of dollars.
I think that's safe.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. Yes.
At this point, do we know how many residents are displaced? I know you mentioned the number of businesses that are closed.
Yeah. Again, we don't know right now. We've asked everybody who lives downtown in Ellicott City to not stay in their homes because we just don't know the ability of the structures to hold them and be sound. And so to estimate again, we just wouldn't be able to do that. But I can tell you it's a considerable amount of people. Yesterday when we opened up the Roger Carter Center for shelter, we had very quickly 25 individuals there to have shelter. Fortunately, they've been able to find other locations now with the help of the Red Cross and family members. So right now, it's my understanding we don't have anybody in any shelters in Howard County right now. Yes, sir, wait, right back here. Yeah.
Mr. Kittleman, for those of us who've lived here a long time, it's usually the Patapsco that rises up Main Street and floods these stores. Why was it different this time? And explain it to those who are not of the area.
Okay, it's actually been not like that for a while. We've had several floods that have been coming down and from the west and to the east, but I'll have, maybe Ryan, you want to explain that?
I'll give it a shot. So that's absolutely true. Some of you might remember Hurricane Agnes, Eloise, where indeed the Patapsco did rise and flood starting with Lower Main Street. In this case, I think it was an intense amount of rain. We were told by the National Weather Service it was 6 inches of rain in 2 hours. It's a very small watershed that all basically funnels into the Tiber, Hudson, and they basically join down near Maryland Avenue. It's a pretty tight area, built 200 years ago, and that amount of water just escapes the channel and then comes out into the street.
Are you worried about
Sure.
the integrity of dams right now? Any of the dams in the Patapsco?
No. So last night we had Centennial Dam specifically was pretty much at its max level. That's since receded and it's tapered back down to normal levels. So no.
Are you going to be revisiting your flood mitigation plan?
Sure, absolutely. We revisit them each year. In fact, Executive Kittleman commissioned the historic Ellicott City Flood Working Group about a year and a half ago, which proposed a whole slate of projects that we now have at the ready as we look to use mitigation funding.
Do you have safety concerns with the potential for more rain tonight and coming days?
We do. We were on a National Weather Service briefing about an hour ago, so we're watching the weather very closely. As you can see, watching some storm clouds actually move in this evening, maybe another band later tonight. So yes, concern for responders, those who are down in Ellicott City right now working. And then, as we try to get some of the debris out so that future rains don't compound the problems.
Anything residents should be aware of and just be ready for tonight?
In Ellicott City or just generally across the county?
Well, it's definitely in Ellicott City specifically, since they're already, dealing with unstable
Sure.
structures and that kind of thing. But yeah, for
State, we're partners with the National Weather Service, so stay tuned. The National Weather Service watches and warnings.
Mr. Kittleman, could you put this flood in perspective? We all know that you just talked about Ellicott City floods fairly regularly. How does it compare to some other floods?
This doesn't compare at all. It's tremendously devastating. And to go back to the previous question, when Storm Lee, Hurricane Lee came from the west to the east as well, as this one did. So it's not always unique to be this way. I've lived in Howard County for about 57 years. And I know Debbie Stykatz is here. She's lived here about that long as well. And I've seen the flooding in Ellicott City in the past. And it's been bad. It has never been close to being this bad. I was here for Agnes. I was 14 years old. I remember it. There was a lot of water and there was a lot of mud, but it didn't have the force of this storm. So there's nothing I can compare it to. As many of you have been down there, you've seen it looks like a war zone. Or as Lieutenant Governor Rutherford told me, it looks like a set for a disaster movie. Cars everywhere. sidewalks missing, roads partially gone, utility poles down, cars on top of cars, buildings, the bottom floor completely gone, foundations completely gone. So no, I don't think we can compare this to anything we've seen before.
Can you just give us, what was your day like yesterday? When did you first find out what was happening?
Well, I was actually with Councilman Ball. We were at an event. It started raining tremendously hard, but I found out probably around 8 or 9 o'clock, like what most of us did, and certainly came in here to the Emergency Operations Center that was open. And it's amazing the kind of force that can happen in such a short time. And we spent a lot of time last night talking to the residents with Delegate Flanagan and Lieutenant Governor Rutherford and I went and we walked the neighborhoods and Main Street. And we talked to a lot of people who said they had very little time to get ready. It was like 10 minutes and all of a sudden it was there. So that just shows you the strength of this. And it also goes to show you that nature is awfully powerful, folks. We are not in control. We have to be ready. We have to be ready. Anybody else?
The National Weather Service is calling it a 1,000-year flood. Do you agree? Does it match your assessment of the damage you saw today? It's nothing like you've seen before, as you said?
I don't know if anyone else has I don't have the things about 1,000-year flood, but it certainly is the most devastating place I've ever seen, and I've been around here for many of the floods that have been in Ellicott City. So,
and last question, when might residents get back in to assess damage? Best estimate?
I'm not going to give an estimate there because we want to make sure that people are safe. I've told people over and over today, our main priority is safety. Safety for the people who live there, safety for the people who work there, and safety for the people, the county employees, the state employees who are down there to make sure that it's safe for everybody else. We've had 2 tragic fatalities. This was a terrible, terrible, horrific incident before we knew that there were 2 people who died. That just makes it so much more horrific. And I can tell you, regardless of how bad those roads are, regardless of how bad those sidewalks are, regardless of how bad those doors are, we can fix that. We can't fix a lost life.
Mr. County Executive, you mentioned the human chain video we all saw. Can any of your folks provide any information about any other rescues, including by our first responders?
I don't know. Chief Rommel?
I can't give you specific details, but I can tell you there were many. There was probably over 20 specific calls that we were dispatched to, and once they were on Main Street, they just went from rescue to rescue, but I can't give you specific stories right now.
Is there any place people can donate aside from food banks and the pending Red Cross?
Well, I think right now the best thing they could do is food or money. We really don't want people to start bringing us materials. As much as I love the local contractors, as much as I love all the businesses want to help out, bringing plywood to the Roger Carter Center right now doesn't help us. We need to be able to focus on what we can to get the debris off and to focus on making sure the structures are sound. So I would suggest that if someone wanted to donate food, please contact the Community Action Council. If they want to donate money, please contact the American Red Cross if you want to donate for a residence, and they will have a dedicated fund just for Ellicott City, or contact the Ellicott City Partnership to help with businesses. HelpEllicottCity.com to help the local businesses. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you all very much for being here.